It's Psych Ups with Brian, and I am live. And today I wanted to talk about a couple of different things. And today I wanted to talk about progress over perfection. And some days, you don't get a great start to your day. And sometimes we want to have a great day every day and a perfect day every day. We want to bounce out of bed and have everything go really well. And sometimes, things don't go perfectly in the morning and we can get a little frustrated, and we can sometimes kind of blow off the rest of the day in terms of staying focused and mentally positive. And we can get kind of frustrated and get in the wrong mode and get in the wrong roles, get in frustrated roles. So obviously, guys, just making progress every day is the point. We want to make progress, we want to improve every day, and every day is not going to be perfect. Your team's not going to win every day. And that, to me, I'm kind of a sports fan, and we're right at the end of the baseball season and right at the beginning of the football season. And the team, your team that you're rooting for doesn't always win every time. So does that kind of put a big pall over your day? Or are you able to, and this is a really important word, I want you to write this down, compartmentalize? Compartmentalize. So what does that mean? It means being able to keep certain thoughts and emotions and situations in their own box, kind of putting them in their own compartment and not letting that compartment, and then putting a lid on it. Okay. And then putting a lid on it and not letting all whatever's in there, the emotions, usually it's emotions, not letting the emotions that's in that compartment leak out and affect the rest of your life. And sometimes, like for instance, let's just say now we've been really fortunate in our business career. We've never been sued. We also try to settle stuff before it gets to that point. But also, we have really good paperwork and we handle things well. But I've always thought that if I ever got sued, I'd really have to work on my compartmentalization, because that would be one of those things that kind of bothers me. And I'd be thinking, oh, I'm getting sued, and whatever, this is pending. And it would be kind of like pending and hanging over me. So if you've got stuff hanging over you, that's when we really need to use compartmentalization. So if you feel like you have any kind of emotional weight on you right now, anything pending that's kind of stressful and is causing anxiety, sometimes you got to put it in its own box and put a lid on it and compartmentalize that, and actually give it time, schedule time. Okay, I have to focus on this, but I'm going to focus on this from 10 to 10:30, and then I'm going to close the lid on that box, and I'm not going to let it influence or taint the rest of my day. And so if you have a frustrating experience, or your team loses, or you're getting sued, or your house, like Roger had his house burned. So you've got these things you're dealing with, but you don't want that to let that sort of taint your whole life. Sometimes I think about my mind as a like a goldfish bowl, and it's full of crystal clear, perfectly clean water, right? But then when you get negativity in your mind, I think of like a plume of like dark violet of color, going into that water, and all of a sudden coloring it and tainting it. Now it's not clean and pure anymore. So sometimes I want to really positively program my mind, and I think of like scintillating colors going through the water, and I'm really super positive. Okay, but sometimes we get negative, and you're like dumping garbage into your little fish tank of your clear water mind. And so we don't want to do that. And so we want to try to keep that clear. I'm mixing a lot of metaphors. We've got our compartment, our box with a lid. We've also got our mind wanting to keep it pure and not tainted by a lot of negativity. And remember, so you can remove that, put it in its box, and keep it in its box. So who's with us? Jennifer. Don't Okay. Great to see you this morning, Jennifer. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Were you on vacation? And Charles, awesome. Happy Monday. And Tony and Angie, hey, great. Happy Monday. Met a great realtor over the weekend that will be a strong part of our power team. That's awesome. Guys, remember, we have that Realtor Riches program, but basically it's 25 steps for recruiting realtors. And it starts with just sending an email, finding a good listing that looks like it's been on the market 30 days or 60 days, and then just sending an email and saying, hey, I'll offer full price on your listing if your seller would be open to taking monthly payments, and I'll pay your commission up front. Make sure they know that. And if you can, so you're buying houses for the commissions, hopefully, and the closing costs. It's not nothing down deals where you're just buying it for closing costs, because you do have to pay these realtors up front. But these realtors are out there in the market all the time. And if they just started asking, and right now they're not asking sellers if they'd be open to monthly payments. If they started asking them all that, they'd find some of them that would say yes, and they'd send them to you. So that's why it's really good to develop your realtor network and have start talking to realtors. And, sometimes we get stuck on the FSBOs and talking to FSBOs, because if you're going to get seller financing, you got to talk to the seller. And if you think, well, heck, if this is a realtor listed property, I can't get to the seller. You can if you charm the realtor, and you do this opening call with the realtor where you just call them and say, hey, I'll offer you full price if your seller's open to monthly payments, and of course I'll pay your commission up front. What do you think? Would your seller be open to this? And or do you know any sellers who might be? Or can you start asking sellers this for me and find me these people? Because that's what I look for. So again, that's great. I'm really encouraged that you guys are talking to realtors. Remember, realtors are out there in the marketplace all the time and see a lot more people than you do. Hey, great idea about getting a time capsule. Yes, a metal one. I'm trying to figure out which one to get. Your grandson is 1.5, also, and 2.5. Yeah, this time capsule idea I had for my birthday, remember? And so I think it's a cool idea. You can buy them on Amazon for about 30 bucks. The biggest one is 16 inches, and it's pretty big. Okay, we haven't buried it yet. All right, this is what it looks like. And it comes like this, and you put all the stuff in the tube, okay? And then I already have my daughter. She got hers ready. Now she put 2 pictures. This is one of her pictures. That's her and me. Yay. So that was one of hers that she wanted to put in here, and that's her and Lynette. Okay, that's my daughter. So she's got her 2 pictures, and she wrote this letter for the time capsule. And so I think that's awesome. Now she's the best. She follows the instructions the best. She's a nurse, so she does what we tell her to do. Anyway, so I did get the biggest one, 16 inches. You can get ones that are like 12 inches long, and then you put the end on it like that. So I think this is cool, but if it's 16 inches long, you got to dig a bigger hole. So, but we're still getting stuff in here, and we're going to be burying it in the next couple of weeks. So again, I think a time capsule is a cool idea, and I had not thought of that. But buy a good one, because you don't want it to leak. And I had seen somebody else who actually had theirs leak, and all the stuff inside was all wrecked. So you want to get a good one. All right. Well, thank you guys for all the comments today. And it's a whole bunch. Sometimes I talk about this when there's national days, and there's just a whole bunch of national days today that are a lot of interesting ones. Business Women's Day. Now, I think this real estate business is actually really good for women. There's a lot of women realtors, and this is a good business for women. It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of interaction and, social skills and that. And so it's also Family Day today. It's also International Day of Radiant Peace. It's also National Centenarians Day. Guys, I want to live to 100, so this would be my day. When we all live to 100, this is our day. Okay, it's also National Ice Cream Cone Day, National Elephants Day, and there's just a lot of them. But the other one I wanted to say is World, first day of fall. Yeah, so, and National White Chocolate Day, which I like. So guys, lots of things to celebrate today. Usually I like to say, I always thought the first day of fall was the 21st, but it falls on the equinox. So I guess they're saying it's today. So happy fall to everybody. Hey, Caleb, great to see you, buddy. Nice to see you. And you got seller signed contract for what she owes, 270, and a little moving money. Okay, that was the one that that you had texted me about. That's awesome. That's great. That sounds awesome, guys. Did you see that? That's a really good deal. Getting something for seller financing with a huge amount of equity in the deal, looking like 45,000 of equity potentially in that deal. That's awesome. You know what? We'll talk about that more, Lacey. If you want to send me another text on that today and catch me up, all right? That'd be awesome. All right, so great to see you guys. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it positive. And again, compartmentalization. When you have some little annoying thing in your life, don't let it kind of leak out and taint other areas of your life. Put it in a compartment, put it in a box. Actually schedule time to worry about it if you need to, and say, okay, from 9 o'clock to 9:15, I'm going to worry about that, and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to close the lid on the box and leave it in its own compartment. Don't give stuff too much power. Sometimes some little nagging thing or some little relationship thing, like you got in an argument with your daughter or son or mom or dad or brother or sister, and it's not even that big of a deal. In a week, nobody's even going to remember it. And yet, it kind of leaks into the rest of your day and makes you less effective and distracts you from getting your good stuff done and being in positive roles. Remember, staying in a positive, productive role is the best thing you can do. Getting work done, being positive and productive for others. So let's all be positive and productive today. Let's keep our any little challenges in their own compartments and enjoy our lives. Okay, so should we say that one? I use compartmentalization. I guess that's pretty, I stay positive. Yeah, I stay positive. 3 times on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I stay positive. I stay positive. I stay positive. Yeah. All right. 3. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Nice one. And exhale. Okay, another one. Good. And let it out. And one more. All right. Good job, everybody. Let's have a really good week. Let's have some good success, and let's get some deals done. Absolutely. And use our good phone skills and talents to be successful. Okay. Yes. Do I name the price? Yes, you name the price. Normally, guys, how I price my properties is I look at what the Zestimate is, because everybody's going to look at that Zestimate. Even if the Zestimate's off, I kind of have to respect the Zestimate, because everybody's going to look up this house on Zillow and there's no getting around the Zestimate. So what I will normally do is I will push my purchase price as high over the Zestimate as I think I can without people actually raising it as an issue. And normally that's about 20 grand. So if the house is 315, if the house is 305 on the Zestimate, I'm going to go to probably 319.9, maybe 324.9, something like that. But yeah, you never put your monthly payment or your down payment in, but you do have to put your asking price. So that's a good question, guys. All right, awesome. So let's have a great week, and I will talk to you guys on Friday. Okay, hey Roger, morning. Great, you got in right at the end. So guys, have an awesome week, and I will see you on Friday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Couple, and taking action. Remember all the great days today. Awesome.